I'm gonna eat pie. Introduce yourself.
Oh, that's right. What's up, everybody? I'm Brad.
And I'm Sean.
I am in Nashville, Tennessee, in my basement with my toys and a cup of coffee and some cookies.
Nice. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm in my office. I got my books, my movies, maybe group. Drinking some tea today.
Very nice. Whenever Sean and I get together, we love to talk about movies and TV shows and whatnot. But since now we live so far apart, we have to do it from a distance. So here we are, me, Sean, about to talk some movie. But I got somebody else on my screen. Who the heck is that?
Well, Brad, funny that you asked. We've actually got the world's most critical man here with us today, also known as Josh. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I believe you already did.
So everyone clearly already knows who this guy is. What were you told we're talking about today?
This is where I stick to the script.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
Well, this is the place I could come to bash The Last Jedi.
Well, you are wrong, sir. We're actually here to talk about the things that we liked about The Last Jedi. Today, we're talking about Star Wars because Rise of Skywalker is coming out next week. We thought we would talk about The Last Jedi. Now, this is typically one that's divisive, gets a lot of hate, but we wanted to stick with the positives today and talk about some of the things that we liked. So, to start things off with things that I liked about The Last Jedi, I just started watching it again today. It was kind of going through it. One of the first things that I loved was the dark cave scene when Rey is drawn to this dark, mysterious thing on the island that Luke's on. And it's similar to how Luke goes into a cave on Dagobah with Yoda. It's strange, and it shows that Rey has this pull to the dark. Shows what she fears, which is being alone. So she's looking for her parent, like for answers about her parents. And it literally sets up the perfect setup for the theory that hashtag Rey is a clone. That's my first scene that I loved about The Last Jedi.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Josh, you're up. What's one of your favorite things about Last Jedi?
I liked the music.
All right. One of my favorite things. So one of my favorite things about Last Jedi, we're going all positive tonight, is everything on the island, pretty much, that involved Luke and everything about Luke in general in this movie. I know it's unpopular, but I do buy that would be like after however many years, even though we don't really know I don't think we know how many years it even is. After that many years alone on the island, anytime that the camera wasn't on Luke or Rey's training on the island, or it's on Canto Bight or whatever, I feel like the runtime of the movie is just wasting away. And I just want to get back to the island and see more about what's going on with Luke. So everything with Luke on the island is one of my favorite things about Last Jedi. Sean, what do you got?
All right. So another one that I got was not Reylo, not that like the relationship that people want, but Kylo Ren and Reylo's connection. I thought was really interesting because it kind of explores the idea that both of them are very similar, kind of mirror each other. One is good that has a pull to the darkness. One is bad that has a pull to the good. So I just thought it was a cool dynamic that they explored there. Yeah, that's really it.
Josh, what's your second thing?
Well, so the thing about, like what you said, I mean, I don't know. It's like someone serves you like a meal with like rotten meat and vegetables that still have like a salad that still has like the farm workers urine and feces on it, whatever they use the bathroom in the field, and many other horrible elements to the dinner, but yet they served Sister Schubert rolls with the food, and you're like, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't leave the movie and think, oh, you wouldn't leave the meal and say, man, those rolls were so good. That wouldn't be the thought that you have. So it's hard to talk island. Is that your wife? You talking about the island, Bradley, and I agree that the only part that I care about was what was on the island with Luke. Like I cared, nothing else mattered in that movie except for seeing Luke. But a lot of it was so stupid and pointless, like Yoda scene. Don't care about that. So it's hard for me to say things that are positive without being reminded of the negative. So yeah, I really like Mark Hamill a lot in a few of his shots. This is making me like the movie less.
Well, I definitely appreciate that fresh and positive take. One of your favorite parts of the movie. Is it my turn now? I'm gonna go with. So the first time I saw the movie, I left the movie pretty excited, and it just kind of dwindled over time. I actually realized what I had watched. One of my favorite things about the movie, the first time I saw it, how excited I was when Luke walked out, showed up on crate, and walked out. I did not know what was going on. I'm just enjoying the movie. And he shows up on crate, walks out, and faces down the entire first order alone, like they foreshadowed jokingly earlier on in the movie. And just how excited I was the first time I watched it, and the trick he was playing on Kylo Ren. That was one of my favorite things.
Well, I don't know what Josh was talking about because I really like the Yoda scene. I mean, who doesn't like Yoda? And it's back to the original Yoda, kind of senile, funny, but also has wisdom. Page turners, they're not, as far as those books. I think that was great. And then also he's teaching Luke that failure is the greatest teacher. It's something that's prevalent in life. When you fall, you get back up and you learn from your mistakes. So I thought Yoda was great. I don't really know how he summoned Force Lightning, but I thought he was great.
All right, Josh, what else you got for us tonight?
I like the Yoda scene. I like one line that he said, but not because it's in a Star Wars movie, not because Yoda said it, because he probably shouldn't have been there because he totally ruined the whole lore by summoning lightning. I like the line where he says, we are what they grow beyond. That's good, just in parenting and in life.
A scene that I really love is when Luke is back in the Falcon and his scene with R2-D2, and whenever R2-D2 projects Leia from New Hope to him, and really felt like I was actually watching Star Wars and the actual Luke that would be there then. So that's my third thing that I really like about Last Jedi. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, it was definitely a cool scene. Relied on nostalgia for sure. But I'm going big, which is the throne room. How can you not talk about that scene? I mean, say what you want about the way it was choreographed or why some guys are just standing there. That scene was awesome. In the theater, I remember watching that. People were cheering. The way that it's filmed, it's beautiful. And I just love the whole idea of them fighting together, Rey and Kylo fighting together against all these guards. And it was super awesome. Seeing him ignite the lightsaber into the dude's face was great. And there was lots of limbs being chopped off, which is great. So I loved it. What about you, Josh? What's next?
Well, I could go. I mean, it was definitely a surprise that Snoke got chopped in half. But I like the mystery of the big bad guy more than I like him getting killed. Let's see here. The bomber scene, the dreadnought scene.
Hey. What about that general guy that everybody likes that's on First Order?
Captain Kennedy. Never liked that guy. Okay, I do like that line where the guy says, I believe he's tooling, sir. I do like that line.
Yeah, Josh. I knew we'd get there.
Yes.
So that's your fourth one, right?
Yes, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say my favorite thing about the whole sequel trilogy for last. So for my fourth one, oh man, I keep going back to Luke. I'm gonna say I'm going Luke again. The three different points of view, if you will, used to show Kylo and Luke's altercation that led to Kylo fleeing or whatever and destroying the Jedi Temple. The certain point of view take on it that you see something totally different from all these different angles. And I thought that was a cool thing to add to the movie. It didn't there's nothing bad that can be said about that, right?
No, I don't like that scene. I hate that scene. In Return of the Jedi or in The Last Jedi, because Mark Hamill looks really weird with that dark beard and haircut that looks on him fine, but it looks like Ian's haircut. He has the same haircut that your youngest. Right?
He does, and it's not a good thing.
That's why I did not like the scene at the end, because when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, cool, Luke showed up." But then I was looking at him and I was like, "Something is wrong here. He looks stupid. Why did?" Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do my fifth one. I'm going to jump over here, Sean. My fifth one is I like Mark Hamill's beard. I like the way he looks. But really, I like the way he looks at the end of The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? Which is the same.
What's your fifth and final thing you love about Last Jedi?
Fifth and final has already been said, but it's when Luke walks out to face Kylo Ren. The whole scene is really cool. I love the shot of Kylo or Ben Solo or Adam Driver or whatever he's going by right now.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, yeah. I love how it shows his feet wiping the salt off of the top layer of the soil, but then Luke, there's nothing there. And the wide shot, oh, we lost Josh. The wide shot of Kylo Ren and Luke just facing each other. The whole thing was really cool. And the final realization that Luke is just projecting himself across the galaxy and played on Kylo's insecurities to allow the Resistance to escape. Thought it was a very Luke move there at the end of the movie. They kind of got something right for his character. So that's it.
Nice. Well, I get to go last, I guess, but I'm going to sneak in an extra one because nobody can stop me. So I'm still going to save my favorite thing for last about the whole sequel trilogy. Luke's death scene, the scene in which he dies, is perfect. Okay? The scene only in which he dies. Not how or why or where this, that. The two suns with the music converging. The two suns with the music converging together. The first time I saw the movie, extremely emotional. That scene was awesome. Fight me.
This was awesome. Okay? The scene was nonsensical because he shouldn't have had to die. It was pointless. And what made the shot was two things, which the only thing that Star Wars movies have going for them now is music and nostalgia. The music is perfect. That's like the best piece of music written ever. And anytime it shows that, which I'm pretty sure they played that during that, right? Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. That moment. But again, it has nothing to do with good story or a good movie. Just pieces pieced together.
I totally agree. And so lastly, and then Sean can wrap us up. Kylo Ren's the best thing about this whole trilogy. For you guys to leave that out of the entire conversation is a little bit shocking. He's the only thing that's consistently interesting, minus the fact when he has his shirt off. I mean, in Last Jedi, they really tried to run his character off the tracks, but I think it ended maybe at least to where it can be brought back together. But Kylo Ren is the most interesting thing. He's the only conflicted character. He's the only interesting character, really, that truly spans the story in both movies. And so, fight me again.
I will.
No, I gotta say I agree with you that he's the best part of the sequel trilogy. I think he's a better version of Anakin. Like the prequels gave us a bad acted version of Anakin, whereas this Skywalker, he plays it really well. I love it, and he's kind of the main character of the story. I feel like.
Josh, you gonna fight me?
I guess both of y'all. So, okay, he doesn't need to be compared to Anakin, okay? Because no one needs to be compared to Anakin because he's a horrible, horrible character. Anakin Skywalker was never. Name me your. No, here I'm commandeering the video. I want each of you to tell me your favorite Anakin Skywalker moments. Because now this is pod racing.
When he lops Dooku's head off.
It's a bit of a stretch.
What about when he's talking to the sand and he goes, "I hate you"?
Kylo Ren sucks. He could have been cool. He was cool until he took the mask off. He's like the opposite of Bane for me. I did not care about him when he took the mask off. Basically, the moment where he takes his mask off and he looks at Rey and he's basically just a kid, not scary at all.
All right, well, we're wrapping things up, but just wanted to give a big shout out to Josh. Thank you so much for joining us today as the most critical man. You got any words that you wanted to say before we close this out?
I do not.
All right. Well, that's it for us today. Make sure that you like down below. Smash that like button like Brad always says. And comment. Let us know what you thought about The Last Jedi. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you kind of in between? And what are you thinking about The Rise of Skywalker? Are you excited about it? Or are you done with the series? Just make sure you let us know. And always watch from a distance.